Hey guys, it's Lainey and welcome to our new channel, Phantom College. I'm so excited to share this channel with you guys and so excited to be the one person who is sharing everything that has to do with the Hunger Games to you. So, basically my job on this channel is to tell you guys all the new details about the Hunger Games, what the cast is up to, new movies coming out. There aren't any anymore, but you know. Fan fictions, epilogues, J-Law, Josh Hutcherson. Also be singing songs from the soundtrack, doing makeup tutorials on how to look like the characters from the Hunger Games, and doing cosplays as them. I'm so excited to share this with you, and let's get into my first ever video. The first thing that I'm going to do in this video, my first video ever, is going to be going through each of the districts of Panem and talk about how they relate to us as people, how I feel about them, how they relate to us in modern society rather than futuristic dystopian of Panem. So, starting first with our first district, if you will, is the capital. Basically, the capital is a place where the president lives. Rich people live, they all dress super crazy, they all look kind of clown-like. That's where Effie comes from. Effie Trinket, who I actually absolutely love. And may the odds be ever in your favor. That's mahogany. But the capital is basically the place for luxury, the place for rich, the place for governmental officials, and really for where the cool kids live. You know. Anyways, so that is like where, that's kind of the antagonist of the story, whereas Katniss is from District 12, which we'll talk about later, which is kind of District 12 is the lowliest one. And then you have the capital, which kind of face off, and they're kind of like antagonist, protagonist. The thing working against it, if you take English, you feel? Yeah. District 1. District 1 is where they make all the luxury items for the capital. They're basically their first mate. Oh, look at that. An anchor. Anyways, let's get back to it. Capital 1 is where, Capital 1, yep. District 1 is where they make luxury items for the capital. It's kind of where they make the deluxe items that the capital has, probably like their clothing, their nice things. Why they dress crazy probably originates from District 1. So I didn't actually know that. I didn't know there was a District 1. I thought it was the capital, but that's really interesting. District 2 is where they have the military, where they make peacekeepers, and where they make trains, oddly enough. You get to visit District 2 in Mockingjay, and in the movies Mockingjay Part 2, you get to visit District 2 and see kind of how much of a focal point it is for the capital's power, and see how a lot of the military is centered around there. You see Gale working, you see Katniss there. I don't think, I almost said Josh, is it for friends? No, I don't think Peeta's there yet, but it's kind of a very important spot, and if you can take over District 2, you are very close to taking over the capital. District 3 is where they make the general electronics. I'm using Wikipedia, but you know, they make technology, kind of like, I guess, phones, all those little things they use. Mostly in Mockingjay you get to see, like, I'm assuming those little tablet things you write in walls with. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff that Haymitch uses when he's writing down the stuff. I think that comes from District 3. And so that's interesting. I didn't know about these earlier districts and what they actually did, because the book takes place in District 12 and the capital, you know, and like District 13 and everything. So it's interesting to learn about these, you know, richer, more career-artistic districts. District 4, which is where Finnick is from. Can I say holla? I love Finnick, I love him. But District 4 is fishing. And that's kind of where they do fishing. I don't know what else to say except that I love Finnick, and he's from there, and I love Finnick, and I love him, and District 5 is the district of power. I don't know if that means technologically, or, you know, just kind of rising up in power. Maybe that's where, like, famous people come from, government officials is what I would assume. And actually, and I'm using Wikipedia to kind of look these up, is Foxface is from District 5, which I think is interesting and shows you a lot about how clever and cunning she is, and kind of how she, like, is tricky and knows how to get power quickly, you know, like she's very smart. Again, I use Wikipedia to look these up because... Okay, District 7 is for the District of Lumber. It's where you get wood and then eventually get fuel and power. And I think it's really interesting how each of the capital literally supplies... Why do I say capital? Each of the districts literally supplies the capital with their needs, like lumber, transportation, peacekeepers, you know, like agriculture, all that stuff. Like, they literally have one sole purpose, going towards the capital, and I think it's a really smart idea if the capital wasn't so influential on all of them. I think if the capital, President Snow says the capital provides safety and they provide things to keep the capital going, which I think is actually a pretty good idea, except Snow obviously took way too much control, and with the Hunger Games, like, that was all really jacked up, but like, that idea is very smart if the districts are just as powerful as the capital. And I think if that's how it worked, they wouldn't have this big rebellion happening. The 8th district is the district for textiles. That means clothing, fabrics, that's all that good stuff. They probably sent a lot of stuff to the capital for all the crazy capital citizens who wear crazy stuff. And someday I will do a cosplay of every trinket. It will happen, just not this second. But keep me on that promise, okay? District 9 is the district for grain, wheat, bread, all that good stuff. District 9, thank you so much for making grain that eventually made a baker, which had a son named Peter and stole our hearts forever. Just kidding, Team Dill all the way. District 10 is the district for livestock. That's where the animals come from. That's where you get the meat. Basically, I think District 10 is the most important district out of all of them. Forget the capital. District 11, which I don't have enough fingers to do, is for agriculture. That's where Rue came from, and we love Rue, and I will try to do a cosplay of Rue. And spoiler alert, Rue was amazing. Can't believe she died, and she was so cute and cunning, and like, I wish I could be Rue in the movies, or Prim. I wish I was like that cool and smart and sweet and cute at that age to be them, because I'm like just as old as Willow right now. 12 is district for coal. We know because that's where Katniss, Gale, Peeta, Willow, we're not close. What am I doing? Prim. So District 12 is for coal. That's where Katniss, Peeta, Gale, Prim, that's where they all live. That's where the story really takes place, takes heart. And spoiler alert, later when I can't talk today. And later when District 12 gets completely destroyed, it's very hard for us readers because that was like our first home in the book. District 13, it says on Wikipedia that its main industry was nuclear weapons and stuff. But, I mean, they obviously went underground after trying to rebel against the capital and served as a rebellion district in my head, so that's what I think of it. That Katniss and everyone went to go live at while they were having this war against the capital, and eventually 13 won. Spoiler alert! And then Katniss killed Coin instead of Snow, and kind of, I thought that was such a cool moment, especially in the movie and everything. Everyone was so surprised, and I was just like, read the book. My video, just kind of talking about all the districts if you didn't know them. Me being a little bit weird, I'm sure there will be bloopers for sure. And it's kind of boring, but I just wanted you to get a sense of my personality and things I'll be talking about on this channel. It'll definitely get a lot cooler, more interesting, but this is kind of an introductory video, so I hope you like my video so much. Please have a wonderful day. Bye! Tight, like leather jacket, that hurt. Anyway, okay. But really, do you think they have apple? I'm so psyched to share this guy's with you. Yeah. District 7, I'm just